Hi everyone, this is Irene, your YouTube Passion Party consultant. So today we are here to talk about the phenomenon of 50 Shades of Grey. So I've read the books, I saw the movie, and this is basically going to give you my opinion. Just as a reader, someone who really likes, watching movies, and also as a Passion Party consultant. So someone who's in the sex industry, so to speak. Um, so first, I want to start off by saying this. I'm normally a person who, when I read books and then I see the movie version of the book, I tend to always love the book more because of the detail that the book has. So I tend to watch the movie, and in my mind, I'm always going, but they missed this part, and some parts of the book don't get into the movie simply because of time, and sometimes as a reader, you feel like it was an important thing that got left out. So oddly enough, this particular time is totally different for me. I felt like the movie was way better than the book. I was not a fan of the book to begin with when I read it. I did. I know a lot of people say that it took them a very short period of time to read all three books. Not for me. The first book took me about 2 months to read. It was a little bit too much. It was too wordy. I didn't like the writing of the book at all. I really didn't. I did like their relationship and how it started. And I more so got into their relationship than anything. And it was always funny to me because I had no problem reading the book anywhere, in public, at work, whatever. Didn't matter. And so I would always get people going, "Are you really reading that in public?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? It's just a book." Had it not been such a big erotica theme going with it, I'm pretty sure a lot more people would have been more comfortable about reading it in public. Um, so this is just the first book, but I also have the other two books as well. So it took me another 2 months probably to read the second book, and I never finished the third one because to be honest with you, I was very, very over it at that point. It was like it was being drug out a little bit too much for me. And I felt like they could have summed everything up in one book and been done. Okay, so now the movie, I felt like the movie was written a lot better. It got to the points really well. I felt like that it really showed the dynamic of their relationship, how it got that way. I wish it was a couple of things that was left out of the movie that was in the book. That started to explain a little bit more about like why he is the way he is, as far as relationships go and things like that, which I felt would have been really good in the movie, especially like the part where he talks about how he remembers his birth mother. And there's a couple of things little details that they left out about that I think would have been very informative in the movie. But the way the movie ended, I was a little like, are you serious? But of course, they're just setting us up for a second one, which I believe has already been announced. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I will be going to see that one as well. But overall, I do like the movie. I probably will watch it again. So books, wouldn't read again. I would not. I don't even think I would try and do Audible or listen a book, a audio book with it, simply because I just the way the books were written, it was not that well. Now, my other opinion when it comes to the books is that this book has some erotic nature to it, and it does open a lot of women up and a lot of couples up to the world of BDSM. But I don't feel like it is, you know, the poster child of erotica novels. I'm more inclined to read Zane, very popular African American author who has written a number of erotica books. I started off with the Sex Chronicles for her. She writes some really very, very good books. And those are when I think of an erotic book, or a book that goes into the category of erotica, that is what I think of. I think of Zane. Not so much 50 Shades of Grey. I feel like this was a romance novel with a touch of erotica. That's kind of how I pictured this book. Um, and I know a lot of people were upset with the movie because they felt like it condoned domestic violence. But I feel like if you're looking at it as domestic violence, then you miss the whole basis of what BDSM is all about. BDSM is first off, it stands for several different things. You have bondage, you have dominance and submissive, and sadomasochism. Sadomasochism. I have a little trouble with that word, but each set of those, all of those have, like I said, is totally different things. Um, it can go from very light things such as like how he tied her to the bed and using a feather to the whole to being very intense, where people have contracts and they have an understanding and they have a full on lifestyle of this is their world revolves around that lifestyle. So and it's always a consensual thing. Some people do find a lot of pleasure out of pain. And that's where BDSM comes from. It's pushing your limits to find pleasure, and you kind of borderline the pleasure and pain aspect of it. And a lot of different things are done. It just kind of depends on what level of comfort you have with it. And also, it's all about communication. Without communication, BDSM does not work. Then, without communication, okay, yeah, it can probably push the lines of being domestic violence. But it's all about communication, pushing the limits, and finding pleasure in the pain that you receive. And also finding pleasure in just letting go and giving yourself to someone and having someone else take full control and not have to worry about making the decision. Sometimes, it's just feels good. It happens in a regular relationship, regardless of whether or not you notice it. I know for myself as a female, a lot of times, letting my boyfriend make the decision, sometimes it's just a lot easier to follow than it is to lead. You don't always have to be a leader. And that's kind of what at least dominance and submissive relationships are about. It's about relinquishing control and letting someone else lead you, and the freedom that you feel from that relinquishing of control. And I know a lot of people say that when in those types of relationships and they're living that lifestyle, it helps them to be more in control outside of the relationship, whether it's in their professional life or whatever else that they do outside of that dominant and submissive relationship. It really helps them to control that area better when they're able to come into a situation and relinquish all control. So I'm not an expert on BDSM, just a little bit of knowledge that I know. So it definitely, the movie definitely isn't domestic violence in my opinion, simply because there was a consent. She asked for the things. They had safe words. Yellow when she was reaching her limit, and red when it was like, okay, I met my limit. So there was safe words, there was communication, and there was understanding of what could be done and what could not be done. So in that aspect, it is not, in my opinion, domestic violence. Others might feel differently, and that's their opinion. But overall, like I said, wasn't a fan of the books. Wouldn't read them again, and I definitely wouldn't suggest them. Movie was very good. So I definitely would say, check out the movie and, let me know what your opinion is. If you've seen the movie, uh, leave a comment down below. Of course, all of my information, my email, my Facebook page, as well as my website if you would like to shop, because we do have 50 Shades of Grey inspired products on our website. So if you would like to shop and purchase anything, or if you want a private consultation about how to spice things up in your bedroom, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to talk about those things with you. So all the information is below. Check me out for the next video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bye.